and 7th graders, this is a value shading practice that I want you to do. So we're going to take a break from our still lives and we're going to practice some value shading and three-dimensional value shading as well. So drawing a form and adding shading to it. This will be in 2 parts, so this is part 1. And we might get through both parts in class today, or this week, but we might not. So this might take us 2 class periods. We'll see. You're going to need your art book, fresh page, and a pencil with an eraser and a ruler. I'm working from home today, so all I have at home is a yardstick. So I'm going to use that. We're going to do some tracing as well as measuring with our ruler. So what I want you to do is trace the top and just trace all the way from the beginning to 7 inches. So a 7-inch long rectangle is what we're making. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not even going to use it to draw this line. And then once you get your rectangle, I want you to mark each inch right at the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And you can go ahead and do the bottom as well so that your lines can be straight. 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's it. And then I want you to trace another one, 7 inches as well. And this one, you don't have to add the lines to it. This one will just make a whole rectangle, and then this one you can connect your lines. You can use your ruler for this, or just draw as straight a line as you can. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a worksheet, just for us to practice. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some shading, practice shading. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Sorry about my shadow and the way my lighting at home is a little different than the lighting at school. Okay. So what we're going to do first is concentrate on this rectangle at the top. What I'd like you to do is shade. So let's talk about value. When you go to a paint store or Menards or Fleet Farm and you see the paint section, there are those little cards that show the value scale of that certain color. So going from darkest to lightest in the value scale. To make a color lighter, you should add some white paint. That's called a tint. To make a color darker, you add black or a darker color, and that's a shade. So it varies that one color in showing the lightness to the darkness. So we're going to create that using our pencil. We'll start on this side being dark and this side being light. So the darkest shade with our pencil, and then white is going to be the lightest shade. So in between, we're going to show the gradation from dark to light. All right, so then this square right here, I want you to start with this one, and I want you to color it in as dark as you can with a pencil. So making it clean, keeping it staying in the lines as best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect, but really what we're concentrating on is just making this the darkest shade possible. So pushing down, making it even all the way across. So I'm even going to go back in and kind of move my pencil and really push down, adding that pressure. Okay. So once you have this square filled in, Then I'm going to have you move over to, just cleaning it up a little bit. Hold on. I'm going to have you move over to this square right here. So we have our darkest and then we have our lightest. So white, dark, 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 gray. So we're going to go to this one, the second one, and kind of do the opposite. You push down really hard with this square. With this one, I want you to light pressure, just like when you were drawing your still life. I wanted you to draw as light as you can so you can erase those construction lines. This one I want you to draw very, very light. And when I draw light this way, I kind of almost do an oval movement with my pencil. That helps you make a nice even layer. If that makes sense. A nice even shade layer all throughout this square. It's really, really light. This is probably going to be the toughest one. Okay. All right. So as you can see, kind of closer up, it's really light over here, and then I kind of got a little dark at first. So you could take your eraser and gently kind of clean that up, and then go back over and try to make it even lighter. Okay. All right. So we got 2 down. Now we're going to do the 4 in between. So we're going to go from the lightest and work our way to that dark. So imagine how you were, feel how it felt when you were shading this part. Now going into this one, you're going to push down a little bit more. Might be best to just go right next to it and then just push down a little bit more, and you'll be able to see difference in the shading. Just a little difference, nothing drastic. So again, I'm doing that circular motion. Oval circular motion kind of keeps a nice even tone throughout this square. Pushing down just a little harder helps me stay in the lines too. Okay, so you can tell just a little difference between the two right there. Now I'm going to push down a little harder. Lots of overlapping. Just trying to make it even. I'm just trying to make it a little bit darker than the last. Okay. Remember, feel free to pause if I'm going too fast. You can draw with me and keep up with me and kind of watch each square and listen to what I'm saying. So yeah. All right, so we got 2 more. So same thing. Pushing down a little bit harder, but just making sure you're looking ahead and being like, well, that's pretty dark. That's the darkest I can go. So you don't want to be there yet. Okay, it's gradually adding a little more and more pressure. And then last one, so right in between this, the darkest you can go, and this last one we did, you could kind of almost go on both sides. You know, you need to go a little bit darker, but you don't want to go as dark as that one. So finding something in between, that's the challenge. So you could kind of feel it out and try to meet in the middle on both sides. This one might actually be the toughest one that you'll do, because it's just kind of figuring out, like, how can I find that middle? So mine's not completely even. I got kind of a darker area over here. I'm just trying and even it out. Not making it too dark, not pushing down too hard so that it gets all the way over there. Okay. Okay. So here it is, a value scale. The darkest gets a little bit lighter as you move your way across. Now